In the world of science, where wonders unfold, your wisdom and guidance, worth more than gold. With joined hands, we welcome you all today. With joined hands, we welcome you all today as we commence this workshop in meaningful way. With this Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Amlan J. Pal, Director, UGC DAE Consortium for Scientific Research, Indore, UGC DAE Consortium for Scientific Research, respected Principal Madam, Dr. Premlata Gupta, Dr. B.D. Srivastav Sir, President IAPT RC9, Dr. Uttam Sharma Sir, Secretary IAPT RC9, Dr. Pradeep Sharma Sir, Dr. Jitendra Tripathi Sir, HOD Physics and convener of the workshop, all the guests and HODs of other departments of Institute of Science and Research, delegates, faculty members, and my dear students. A very good morning to one and all present here. With great joy and immense pleasure, I, Dr. Anjali Jain Devtale, on behalf of Physics Department, Institute of Science and Research, feel honored to welcome you all to the inauguration of Professor Babulal Saraf Memorial National Workshop on Experimental Physics for School Teachers. We are gathered here today for truly exceptional and momentous occasion, a workshop to celebrate the birth centenary year of the late Professor Babulal Saraf, a pioneer in the world of experimental physics. Saraf Sir's legacy is inspiration to all of us. Professor Saraf was the foundation stone of our physics department. His profound contributions and unwavering dedication formed the bedrock upon which our department thrived. By this inspiration, this event is a significant milestone in our continuous efforts to enhance the quality of physics education. Physics is a cornerstone of scientific understanding, and role of teachers in nourishing young minds and instilling a love for the subject cannot be overstated. This workshop aims to foster excellence in physics education by providing hands-on training in experiment, by integrating practical experiments into the teaching curriculum. We can create a deeper understanding of complex physics principles and inspire a new generation of scientists and innovators. With this intention, school teachers from different parts of the country will participate in this workshop and enhance their experimental knowledge. I again welcome you all, participants and guests who came from long distances for the love towards physics. As we inaugurate this workshop grant, let's join hand in hand. To kindle the passion, make it gleam. Physics will be more than just a dream. To formally inaugurate this workshop, I respectfully invite our respected chief guest, Dr. Amlan J. Pal Sir, our respected principal ma'am, Dr. Premlata Gupta, Dr. Jitendra Tripathi Sir, Dr. B.D. Srivastav Sir, and all the HODs of ISR department to please come forward for lighting of the lamp. The symbolic act represents the dispelling of darkness with the light of knowledge. Please, sir.
विष्णु गजानन जिन चरणों को सेवते
Before we proceed further, let's take a moment to acknowledge and welcome our esteemed chief guests who have graced this occasion with their presence. For this, I would like to request our respected principal madam to honor our chief guest, Dr. Amlan J. Pal, Director, UGC DAE CSR, by plant sapling. Welcome, sir. Firstly, I would like to extend our warm welcome to our very own Dr. Premlata Gupta madam, the inspiring leader of our institution. I humbly request ma'am to grace us with your insights and words of wisdom. Your guidance is invaluable to all of us. Please, ma'am.
Very good morning to everyone. I heartily welcome our chief guest, Dr. Amlan Pal, Director UGC CSR DAE, and Dr. Sharma from Holkar Science College, and all the participants. It is indeed a great pleasure for me to welcome you all, and my heartiest congratulations to Department of Physics for organizing this workshop. We are organizing this workshop for the first time to all school teachers. As you know, we are celebrating the birth centenary of late Babulal Saraf. In his memory, we are organizing number of events. Professor Babulal Saraf was a pioneer of physics education. He was an eminent educationalist and great scientist. IPS Academy will never forget his noble contribution to science fraternity. On this occasion, I must congratulate and appreciate Department of Physics for organizing a series of events. Professor Saraf, we never forget that Professor Saraf was contributed dedicatedly his time, his wisdom to our institute, and we definitely organize this workshop every year in his memory and to carry forward the legacy of Professor Saraf. He was really a great inspiration to all of us. Now I must introduce IPS Academy in brief. Indore Professional Studies Academy is a premier institute of Central India. It is largest educational hub premises, playing a major role to develop Indore as Central India's most preferred educational center. It is installed in an area of 60-acre lush green terrain with 3 campuses, one at Saver and Zabua. We have 16 colleges in core campus with more than 81 courses are running here. We have 500 teachers and 10,000 students. The various institutes in these premises is housed in separate aesthetically designed buildings. We have state-of-art infrastructure, well-designed laboratories, classrooms, libraries, and important resource that is qualified and skilled, experienced faculty members. IPS Academy is NAAC accredited institute. Engineering and Management Institute of IPS Academy has autonomous status. ISR, Institute of Science and Research, stand at reputed position among best science colleges by various ranking agencies, The Week, Hansa, India Today, etc. At national level, IPS Academy Science College ranked 48th position in 2023 among top 100 colleges of India and 73rd position by India Today magazine. We also received ninth most emerging colleges of science in India. Journey of 28 years of IPS Academy is great with achievements and accolades in the name of IPS Academy, including Limca Book of Record and Guinness Book World Record. IPS is also accredited NAC A++ grade. Our management institute received this grade. Institute also received NRF ranking in top 100 management institute of India. Our Institute of Engineering is NBA accredited. Institute of Science and Research, where you are going to get training of 3 days, is best institute in basic sciences in Madhya Pradesh. ISR presently running 13 UG and PG courses. More than 30 faculty members in Institute of Science and Research are PhD holders, NET and GATE qualified. They are published more than 300 research papers in last 4 years in reputed national international journals. We also received funds from MapCost, IUCDAE funded research projects. We have accomplished 6 research projects. 40 lakh research projects have been granted from SERV, and our key pillars with this are record results and placements. In this sequence, we have 2 departments which are research centers, recognized research center by DAEVV. We have 14 faculty members are working as research supervisors also, and more than 20 research scholars are pursuing PhD. Lastly, I wholeheartedly congratulate convener Dr. Jiten Tripathi, co-convener Dr. Usha Singh and her team for their successful endeavor to bring out this grand event. I do hope workshop will be interesting and everyone will enjoy in getting thorough knowledge and practices. I once again convey my best wishes to all participants. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam, for your inspiring and fruitful information. Now, I would like to request Dr. Jitendra Tripathi, sir, convener of this workshop, to say a few words about this workshop. Please, sir.
Good morning, our chief guest, Professor Amlan Jepal, sir, Principal ma'am, Principal Sudha Pandey ma'am, Principal IPS School, Sharma sir, B.D. Srivastava sir, Gadkari madam, all participants and dear students. एक्चुअली में हमने ये स्टार्ट किया हुआ है यहाँ पर क्योंकि हम यहाँ पर अब सराफ सर का जन्म शताब्दी वर्ष मना रहे हैं. सर को पूरे 100 साल हुए और ये पहले हम ये इवेंट जब करते थे तो हम इसको कॉलेज टीचर्स के लिए करते थे. फिर जब से NEP आई और हम लोगों ने ये फील किया कि जब स्कूल से स्टूडेंट्स आते हैं तो उनको बहुत प्रॉब्लम होता है एजुकेशन में यहाँ पर, और जब से NEP में मेजर माइनर और इलेक्टिव सब्जेक्ट का कॉन्सेप्ट आया तो ये भी देखा हम लोगों ने कि जो कोर सब्जेक्ट हैं एक्चुअली में जो वैल्यूएबल सब्जेक्ट हैं उनके बारे में स्टूडेंट्स समझ ही नहीं पाते थे. तो इसलिए हमारी प्रिंसिपल मैम ने हमको बोला कि आप ये स्कूल टीचर्स के लिए भी कुछ करें. तो हम लोगों ने फिर एक ये अब नया सीरीज़ चालू किया है और होप वी विल कंटिन्यू दिस फॉर लॉन्ग टाइम, और हम हर साल स्कूल टीचर्स के लिए ये करेंगे इवेंट. और ये इससे अच्छा मौका हो नहीं सकता था. सराफ सर की वर्कशॉप, सराफ सर की जन्म शताब्दी वर्ष पे हम इस इवेंट को ऑर्गेनाइज करें, शुरुआत करें इस इवेंट की. हम सराफ सर का ये मानना था कि फिजिक्स जो है वो इतना कठिन नहीं है जितना हम सोचते हैं. तो उनका ये कॉन्सेप्ट था कि आप जो कुछ भी पढ़ते हो वो आपको दिखना चाहिए. तो आप जब लैब में जाएंगे आप देखेंगे तो जो भी थ्योरी हम पढ़ते हैं उस सब का कॉन्सेप्ट, उस सब का एक्सपेरिमेंटल वेरिफिकेशन, सारा एक्सपेरिमेंट हमारी लैब में मिलता है. हम लोग उसी काम को आगे बढ़ाते जा रहे हैं और उसको मॉडिफाई कर रहे हैं, माइक्रो कंट्रोलर बेस्ड प्रोग्रामिंग कर रहे हैं और आगे सारी चीज़ें करते जा रहे हैं. तो इसलिए हमने ये कॉन्सेप्ट, ये स्कूल टीचर्स के लिए सीरीज स्टार्ट की है इस साल. और जो अभी तक हमारे पास जब हमने इसको स्टार्ट किया था तो तकरीबन 70 पार्टिसिपेंट थे ऑल ओवर इंडिया. इट इज़ फ्रॉम नॉर्थ टू साउथ, ईस्ट टू वेस्ट, सब जगह थे. बट ड्यू टू सम टेक्निकल इश्यूज लाइक आप सब CBSE स्कूल से हैं तो कहीं एग्ज़ाम स्टार्ट हो गया. केरल के बहुत सारे पार्टिसिपेंट्स थे जहां निपा वायरस आ गया, तो सम ऑफ देम आर बैक आउट. बट वी कुड मैनेज 30 पार्टिसिपेंट्स अगेन. 30 पार्टिसिपेंट हमारे पास फुल पार्टिसिपेंट्स हैं यहाँ पर. तो मैं आप सबका फिर से एक बार स्वागत करता हूं. और आप यहाँ पर जितने टाइम है 3 दिन आप एंजॉय कीजिए. आप बहुत अच्छे से एक्सपेरिमेंट कीजिए. आपको बहुत नए नए इनोवेटिव एक्सपेरिमेंट देखने मिलेंगे. और ज़्यादातर जो एक्सपेरिमेंट्स हैं दे ऑल आर अवार्ड विनिंग. सबको कहीं ना कहीं इंडिया लेवल पर प्राइज़ मिला हुआ है और कुछ उसमें से नए डेवलप किए हुए एक्सपेरिमेंट्स हैं. तो वंस अगेन आई वेलकम यू ऑल. थैंक यू वेरी मच.
Thank you, sir, for conveying very important information about the workshop. Thank you so much. Now, I would like to invite Dr. B.D. Srivastav, sir, President, IAPT RC9, to motivate our participants. Your words and guidance would greatly enrich the occasion. Please, sir.
नमस्कार. मैं 4 पॉइंट्स में अपनी बात रखना चाहूँगा. पहले तो IPS इंस्टीट्यूट के हमारे फिजिक्स डिपार्टमेंट को बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं और बधाई कि NEP के अंतर्गत इतना महत्वपूर्ण कार्यक्रम वो ऑर्गेनाइज कर रहे हैं. दूसरा, हमारे प्रेरणा स्रोत बाबूलाल सराफ जी के जन्म शताब्दी वर्ष में ये कार्यक्रम आयोजित हो रहा है. उनको पढ़ना, समझना और जानना हमारे जो पार्टिसिपेंट्स इस वर्कशॉप के रहेंगे वो निश्चित रूप से उसको पढ़ें, समझें और ये जानें कि हम किस तरह से प्रयोग कर सकते हैं. प्रयोग करने के लिए हमेशा आवश्यकता होती है ऑब्जर्वेशन की. और जब तक हमारे पास ब्रेन है, एवरी टाइम वी आर डूइंग न्यू एक्सपेरिमेंट्स. होता यह है कि उन एक्सपेरिमेंट्स के, ऑब्जर्वेशंस के, उन मेजरमेंट्स को हम नोट डाउन नहीं करते. यदि उनको हम नोट डाउन करना चालू करते हैं तो निश्चित रूप से हमको कुछ नई चीज़ प्राप्त होती है. तो मैं आज इस बेहतरीन अवसर पर आप सबको बधाई भी देता हूँ, शुभकामनाएं भी देता हूँ. और IAPT के संदर्भ में जो बात कहना चाहूँगा वो ये है कि पूरे भारतवर्ष में ही नहीं, विश्व के अन्य देशों में भी हमारे मेंबर्स हैं. और IAPT के माध्यम से विशेष रूप से हम लोग प्रयास करते हैं कि स्कूल लेवल एजुकेशन में हम किस प्रकार से चीज़ों को समझें और आगे बढ़ें. कई बार ये होता है कि सिलेबस को कंप्लीट करने के चक्कर में बहुत सारी चीज़ें जो प्रयोग हम कर सकते हैं वो भी हम नहीं करते. लेकिन हमको उस तरह के प्रयोग भी करना चाहिए जो हमारे सिलेबस से हटकर हैं लेकिन हमारे कॉन्सेप्ट को पुष्ट करते हैं. पुनः एक बार आप सभी को बधाई, शुभकामनाएं. और विशेष रूप से IPS की फिजिक्स की जो टीम है हमारी, उसके लिए शत शत बंधन. धन्यवाद.
Thank you, sir, for your graceful words. They have provided valuable insights to us. Now, we have reached a significant moment in our program where we introduce a distinguished personality whose guidance and expertise have been instrumental in shaping the future of research. It is my privilege to introduce our chief guest, Dr. Amlan J. Pal, Director UGC DAE Consortium for Scientific Research, India, who has graciously accepted our invitation to join us today. Dr. Amlan Pal, sir, for this auspicious occasion needs no elaborate introduction, as their reputation and dedication to the pursuit of knowledge precede them. Sir is currently the director at UGC DAE Consortium for Scientific Research. He is also a J.C. Bose National Fellow at the School of Physical Sciences, Indian Association for the Cultivation Science, Kolkata. He is an experimental physicist. His research interests include device physics, ultra-high vacuum, scanning, tunneling, spectroscopy, and material engineering, leading to organic electronics, optoelectronic devices, including solar cells, organic spintronics, and so forth. He has published more than 260 articles with his PhD students and guided 28 PhD students so far. Sir is fellow of 3 science academies of India and also of the Indian National Academy of Engineering. Without further ado, I humbly invite to our esteemed chief guest, Dr. Amlan J. Pal sir, Director UGC DAE CSR, to share his thoughts and expertise with us. Please, sir, stage is yours.
Thank you. Thank you. Namaskar. Namaskar to everyone. So, Madam, Dr. Premlata Gupta ji, Principal IPS Academy, of course, Dr. Tripathi ji, Head of the Department Physics, Pandey Madam was, Shudha Pandey Madam was there, Srivastav ji, other distinguished guests, and Usha Madam. So, you all, thank you all for inviting me, all the distinguished faculty members of the IPS Academy, and mostly school teachers. So, I am an experimental physicist, I am a researcher, and of course I work here at the UGC DAE Consortium for Scientific Research as director, but basically I am an academician, researcher to be specific. So just to name about these 2 institutes that I represent as UGC DAE Consortium for Scientific Research. It is funded by UGC, and our mandate is to support university research. It is very clear. We have all high-end research facilities at UGC DAE CSR. We have 3 centers, one at Indore, one at Mumbai, one at Kolkata, and one node at Kalpakkam. So we have all high-end facilities in our centers and the node. Any university research, so if you are carrying out, especially to those school teachers, if you are interested in carrying PhD at some place, at some universities, maybe you are aspiring to do PhD, and I wish that you will take experimental physics as your subject, because I love experiment. I often jokingly say that I eat, drink and sleep experiment. So if you take experimental physics as your subject for PhD, then you can join any university, your local university. But I am fully aware that universities in India, they are not really well equipped always with all sorts of high-end facilities. It's not possible also, because we have, I don't know the number of universities, but we have large number of universities, and it is not possible to have all the high-end facilities in all the universities, and that is the reason UGC created UGC DAE Consortium for Scientific Research, so that the instruments can be housed over there, and you as researcher from universities can come to our place and do experiments, and you don't have to pay a single rupee. Even your stay and travel will be covered by us for carrying out the experiment. The role of Department of Atomic Energy, that is DAE, is that DAE has a large number of mega science facilities, what we call. Like at Indore, you know that they have synchrotron sources, and then BRC they have Dhruva reactor, and then at IGCAR Kalpakkam they have cyclotrons, and then accelerators, and then at VCC Kolkata it's cyclotrons. So you can even access those facilities, high-end mega facilities of Department of Atomic Energy, because through a memorandum of understanding between UGC and DAE, the DAE facilities are also provided to the university researchers. So bottom line is that if you are interested in doing experimental research in any universities, instruments will not be a problem. I can assure that. So you can always carry out your experimental research. You can get the facilities of UGC DAE Consortium for Scientific Research and do your experiments and then complete your PhD. We have our trained manpower scientists who will help you in this respect also. And the other institute that I represent, I must tell about that one, and of course there is a reason for that. So I am associated also at Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science, and if you are not aware, it is located at Kolkata, and it is the place where Sir C.V. Raman, did his experiment to discover Raman effect. So you know the history of Raman effect. Still, I would tell that it was in 1920s he was doing experiment. So he was basically he was working at Kolkata in a accounts department. So he was in the evening he would be walking back to his home, and then he found the name of the place called Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science, and he entered there, and he said that I want to do research. So he was an employee somewhere at the accounts section, auditor general, some place. Anyway, so then he started working on light optics here, but he had very clear vision that what he wants to discover, what he wants to do. So it's something like Crompton scattering, and he was fully aware of all the optics experiments, so he decided that he will work on this Raman spectroscopy. And now imagine that in 1920s there was no laser, there was no photomultiplier tube, there was no grating, and at Kolkata in a small laboratory he wanted to do this experiment. By the way, Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science is the oldest research institute in India. Is the oldest research institute in India. It was founded in 1876. 1876 by our founder Dr. Mahendra Sarkar. And Dr. Mahendra Sarkar was a medical practitioner. He was the doctor of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa Dev. So if you go to Belur Math, you will still find in Ramakrishna Paramahansa Dev's room, his photo is there, and it is written just below Dr. Mahendra Sarkar's name, is Thakurer Daktar. So that was his parichay basically. So Dr. Mahendra Sarkar in 1876, now imagine that in 1876, what was our education in India? In 1876, we had only 3 universities in India: University of Calcutta, University of Madras, and University of Bombay, 1957. So, and no further university. Allahabad was founded in 1876. So, in 1856, he decided that, 1876, he thought that we should do basic research. Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science was founded to carry out basic research. So why he thought? So that's the vision. So we often talk about visionary and so on. So that's the person. You now imagine that what was his vision. In 1876, he thought that we should do basic science. Considering we have only 3 universities at that time in India. Why he wanted to do basic science, basic research? Because he understood that, he felt that we were, of course, not an independent country at that time. So he felt that to make India an independent country, we have to first remove all our superstition, because through all our superstition, British government were making us dependent. So we could not become independent at that time. And you know that Indian history, we were so much superstitious in every respect. So he understood that to make India as an independent country, we have to have science research, and we have to propagate this information of scientific research to the mass. So it was a society basically. Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science is a society for the dissemination of scientific knowledge amongst everyone. So that was the history of Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science. And where was we? Anyway, so that's the 2 institutes I represent. So I am really fortunate that I have served Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science for whole my career. I moved here at Indore only in 2020. But before that, I have worked at Kolkata at Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science. So I am really happy that you have considered physics teaching, physics experiment as this theme of this school, the national workshop for school teachers. And I was reading the contribution of Professor Babulal Saraf. So it is really great to know that how he contributed to the experimental physics, because believe me, experimental physics is beautiful subject. I love experiments, and as Dr. Tripathi was saying, physics is not difficult subject. Physics is what you see everywhere. If you sit anywhere without keeping your mobile on, you will see things of physics everywhere. So just to share my personal experience, the other day, 10 days back, we had इधर इंदौर में बहुत भारी वर्षा हुई थी. So because of that heavy rain, the lawn in front of my house was totally waterlogged. Okay, so I think it was everywhere. And then I was just sitting with my cup of tea, and then I saw that some drops of water was falling on that water, and the waves were propagating. It was so beautiful to see that in our school days we were taught that the drop of water was falling on from the tree, and then wave was propagating in that stagnant water because of the rain. And I recall that I have to understand here that the water molecules are not moving. Water molecules, so one drop is moving and then it is propagating like circle everywhere. And not water molecules are propagating. It is just the wave that is forming. So even by looking at that drop of water falling on the stagnant water in my lawn, I could see that it involves physics. So that is the thing that as physics teachers, we always will have to ignite the minds of your students, that you have to just have eyes to look. Things are happening everywhere, but we often miss it. We do not see it. And if I see it, then I will be able to explain it with physics. So this is what I always feel about physics experiment. Everywhere, whatever you do. So as teachers, you create true knowledge based and through your knowledge, through the knowledge that you create among students, the country will prosper. And because when you teach your students in schools, finally they will go to colleges, they will go to universities. Some of them will take research as their profession. Some of them again will go back to teaching as profession. So you see that how is the circle? What you teach today, that student will in 10 years or 20 years time will become a teacher, and then will start to teach the same thing to his or her students. So it is very important what you are teaching today. Extremely important, because if I am sure that you do not do any mistake, but if you do any mistake today, that mistake will be propagated generation after generation. So teachers will have huge responsibility, because we all do mistakes. I completely agree. But if one small mistake of yours will be propagated generations after generations, because that student, when he will become teacher, he will say to हम तो ऐसा ही पढ़े थे, so I will teach the same thing. So it is very important. Anyway, so I am sure that you do not do that. So what they will teach what they learn from today. So realize how important your functions are today. So I again say namaskar to all the teachers, my shraddha to you all. And so this is a field of experimental physics, and experimental physics is beautiful subjects. And experiments actually make long-lasting impressions. Like some school teachers can make a permanent impression about the subject. So I vividly recall one incident of my school days. So clinical thermometer was being explained to our school. I don't know in which class, but it was being taught. So then the teacher explained that what is the working mechanism or the structural difference between a clinical thermometer and a normal thermometer. Both are mercury based, everything. So there is one phrase he used in Bengali, so you may not understand, so I am not sharing that. So he said that it's a kind of a jerk that gives, that mercury thread will get every time it expands. And because of that jerk, it will not come down, because you know the difference between the working principle of a clinical thermometer and normal thermometer. Because in a normal thermometer, immediately I remove it, the mercury will come down. But in clinical thermometer, it will not come down. And why is that? So every time I see the thermometer, I recall my teacher that it was explained that, okay, there is this thing. So, and because of that thing, That is the difference between the clinical thermometer and the. There are ample examples I recall of my school days. So, as I said, that allow the students to be inquisitive, allow them to ask questions, because some of the questions will not be correct. I completely agree. But by allowing them to ask questions will basically ignite their mind of inquisitiveness. So they will start thinking, okay, maybe some questions are wrong. I completely agree. But at least they will start to think that, okay, so this is wrong question. So maybe next time the question will be correct. Like, I mean, I give you another example that I had something. You know, when in magnetic lines of force, you all do that experiment. So there are two types of experiments we had at those days. Bar magnet, the north pole pointing towards the geographic north and north pole pointing towards the geographic south. And we all drew the lines of force and had the neutral points. Either it was this way or in that way, if I have this. So we all understood that. So we were allowed to do experiments by the bar magnet. It's simple thing, bar magnet, one compass. So these are the two things that you need. And we were allowed to handle those bar magnets and compass. So one day I thought that how about pointing that bar magnet to east or bar magnet towards west? How would the lines of force would look like? I know that in north pole pointing north and north pole pointing south, I still recall that image, so everything is clear to me. It was in the book that how the lines of force should look like. But how about the lines of force with bar magnet pointing east or west? It should be the same. So, and I actually did that. Anyway, something came, but at least it allowed me to think that there are other possibilities I can try. So these are few things that I still recall my school days experiments. And my first homemade physics experiment was a pinhole camera. So I really made it at home with a shoe box. So I used one shoe box, I cut it and then put something, and then really found that I can see something, that some images of with this pinhole camera, and it was really fascinating to see. So initially some candle I tried, or some grass, or not grass, some tree outside, long distance tree, and I could see that it really forms this image. And it was so fascinating to see that, yes, pinhole camera works. So if I could make it just with a shoe box. So these are few things that I thought. And then, so about physics experiment, because since all of you are from physics background, in a broader sense, science as a subject is very important. Of course, other subjects are important, but science has a special role, because as I said, that science is a subject can remove many ills that exist in our mind and that exist in our society, unfortunately, even in 21st century. As science teacher, you will have to teach the students to be never superstitious. This is very, very important. And of course, we should also never become superstitious. Things can be explained. If things can be explained scientifically, then only I will believe it. Otherwise, I won't believe it. And as teachers, in a still broader sense, I will tell that the first and foremost ideology that you must embed, or try to embed maybe, in the students' minds are ethics and morality. Because if we do not do as teachers, I am also a teacher, but to different students, different group of students, but I try to do that, to be a human being first. So it is very important that you as teachers try to embed ethics and morality, which is very difficult, I know. So that is, they have to know the principles of right and wrong. That is the niti, what we tell. I know it's a very tall order. It's a challenging, considering what they see every day, what they read every day in the newspaper. But you, as teachers, will have to be model, the role model of students. So that you have to be a kind of an island, so that you can be the role model of the students. It is very important to be the role model. And I understand, that's my feeling, that if you can become a role model of even one student, your life is successful. If I am not a role model to my student, or to some people with whom I interacted, then my life is failure. Whatever awards I have, accolades I have received. So it is very important to be a role model, and you know that how difficult it is to be a role model. You have to follow so many right things. Thank you. So it is very important, but believe me, you still will get immense satisfaction if you become a role model. And those, by becoming role models, you will truly change life of some students, and they in turn will also change the life of future students. I think I will stop here. Thank you again, madam, sir, everyone, for inviting me here and then allowing me to share some of my thoughts. So just in my personal thoughts I have shared with you. So namaskar again, and
Thank you, sir, for gracing us with your presence and providing information about the facilities of UGC DAE CSR throughout the India. And I assure you, sir, that we teachers and our students will ignite our minds to learn physics deeply and also from the daily life. Your insights are truly invaluable and will undoubtedly guide us on our path of knowledge and growth. Thank you so much, sir. So, we approach at this momentous moment. Let us do so with sense of gratitude for Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Amlan J. Pal, sir, for this event. This presentation symbolizes the respect and honor we hold for their accomplishments and their willingness to share their wisdom with us. With that, I request Dr. Jitendra Tripathi, sir, trainer of this workshop, to present memento to our esteemed chief guest, Dr. Amlan J. Pal, sir. Thank you, sir, for your gracious presence. Let's look forward to an enriching and enlightening workshop that will not only enhance our teaching and experimental skills, but also ignite the passion for physics. Together, we can inspire the next generation of scientists and innovators. नवाचार और शिक्षा की गहराइयों का पाठ, नवाचार और शिक्षा की गहराइयों का पाठ, यह हमारा मिशन, यह हमारी बात, यह हमारा मिशन, यह हमारी बात, भौतिक ज्ञान की रोशनी बढ़ाने का इरादा, भौतिक ज्ञान की रोशनी बढ़ाने का इरादा, हमारा संकल्प और यह आगाज़, हमारा संकल्प और यह आगाज़. With these words, I invite co-convener of this workshop, Dr. Usha Singh, to say a few words about Professor Babulal Saraf and to propose vote of thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, Anjali ma'am. माँ सरस्वती के श्री चरणों में वंदन करते हुए, a warm and gracious good afternoon to all of you. Before I propose vote of thanks, I would like to say a few words about Professor Babulal Saraf. प्रोफेसर बाबूलाल सराफ ने सबसे पहले BARC ज्वाइन किया अपना एजुकेशन कंप्लीट करने के बाद, बट ही डिड नॉट एंजॉय ओवर देयर बिकॉज ही वाज ए वेरी गुड एक्सपेरिमेंटलिस्ट. Actually, he was a master experimentalist, a pioneer physics educationist in India. So what he has done, then he joined University of Rajasthan, and he worked over there. And while he was working over there, Abdas Salam from Trieste University, Italy, he invited him to work over there to design innovative experiments. Then Abdas Salam, he's a Nobel laureate. He wrote Indian government to promote experimental physics. Even he gave project of 80 lakh to Professor Babulal Saraf to promote physics education in experimental form. And then in Rajasthan, he was awarded Raman of Rajasthan. उपाधि मिली उनको Raman of Rajasthan. And after retiring from there, he joined IPS Academy in 2002. He was founder director of ISR. He was awarded with experiment in America. The experiment name is coupled oscillator. And he developed Barton pendulum also, and more than 100 innovative experiments he developed, which we are using, and our students are enjoying that experiments and learning basic concepts of physics. So this year, we are celebrating his life and legacy, and I hope we will continue this type of program in future also. Now I would like to propose vote of thanks. I deem it a great honor and privilege to propose a vote of thanks on this momentous occasion. The Professor Babulal Saraf Memorial National Workshop on Experimental Physics for School Teachers, which is taking place from 25th to 27th of September 2023. First and foremost, I would like to express our deep gratitude to the Almighty for granting us the courage and determination to organize this workshop. We believe that His blessings have been instrumental in making this event possible, and we are truly thankful for His benevolence. Our profound thanks goes to our distinguished Chief Guest, Dr. Amlan J. Pal, Director of UGC DAE CSR Bharat. We are immensely grateful that you generously spared your precious time to grace this occasion. Your enthusiasm and warm reception when we extended the invitation truly inspired us. Your presence and informative and motivational speech have added immense value to this event. It was truly outstanding. My sincere thanks are due to our President, Architect Achal Chaudhary sir, for his all-time generous financial support and guidance. I place on record our gratitude to our principal, Dr. Premlata Gupta, ma'am, for her moral support in this event. Your encouragement has constantly bolstered all our endeavors. Thank you, madam, for your unstinted support. My heartfelt thanks to the Indian Association of Physics Teachers, RC9, for their continuous support and motivation. I would like to give special mention to the head of the department, all the faculties, staff, student volunteers, and housekeeping staff of the Department of Physics, without whom this event could not have been conducted cordially. Their relentless efforts, harmonious teamwork, and commitment are incredible, remarkable. I am sure in these 3 days, their support will turn the event into a resounding success. Another worthy mention for support would definitely go to our e-learning department for their technical support and kind cooperation. Their seamless efforts in covering the event are noteworthy. Further, a big thanks to all the participants from different parts of the country who took pain to come over here. All the best to all of them, and I hope this experimental workshop will definitely enlighten their knowledge. This workshop might help them to develop some innovative experiments in their schools. I owe special gratitude to our management, the mess in charge, and the store in charge for providing support for the conduction of this workshop. Last but not the least, thanks are also due to all the HODs and faculty members of the Institute of Science and Research, IPS Academy, who directly or indirectly contributed to organizing this workshop. In conclusion, I would like to leave you with this thought. Let's embark on this learning quest. With dedication, we will do our best. In this workshop, together we will grow. In the fascinating world of physics, we will grow. Once again, I extend my gratitude to one and all. Thank you.